The hangar lights flickered in the distance, casting long shadows across the tarmac. The base had gone quiet, too quiet for a Friday morning. Most of the squadron was grounded for routine maintenance, and the few jets cleared for flight were under strict command supervision. Nobody noticed the civilian engineer walking along the flight line, clipboard in hand, head down, dark hair tucked beneath a faded ball cap. Her name was Captain Elise Hartman, though no one here called her that anymore. Officially, she was Ms. Hartman, contractor, systems analyst, and part-time simulator tech for the Air Force's Raptor program. Unofficially, she was one of the youngest ace combat pilots to ever fly the F-22 before a classified mission 5 years ago had gone wrong, very wrong. She'd been grounded since then, buried in paperwork and research instead of sky and fire. She told herself she was fine with it. She told herself flying again would only bring ghosts. But fate, as always, had other plans. The first alarm hit like a thunderclap, one long, rising wail that made every mechanic and guard freeze mid-step. The base PA crackled, then a voice came through, tense and urgent. Alert scramble. Repeat. Alert scramble. Unauthorized aircraft inbound from the east. Possible hostile intent. Everyone moved at once. Mechanics dropped tools, guards sprinted toward their posts, and pilots ran for their jets. But the problem was immediate, most of the trained pilots were gone. The ready team was halfway across the state for joint drills, and only one F-22 remained fueled and functional on base. Major Collins, the flight commander, was already barking orders as Elise slipped closer. "Who's cleared to fly that bird?" he demanded. "Sir, all active flight crew are out," said a young lieutenant, checking his roster. "Closest certified pilot ETA 40 minutes. Collins swore under his breath. "We don't have 40 minutes. That aircraft's already breached air defense range." Elise's eyes lifted to the open hangar doors, where the silver-gray body of the Raptor gleamed under the floodlights. It was tail number 07, her old jet. Her hands trembled just looking at it. Collins caught her stare. "Ms. Hartman, get back to the bunker. This isn't your concern." Her voice was quiet, almost lost beneath the blaring alarms. "You've got one bird operational and no one to fly it." He frowned. "You're not cleared. You're not even on the roster." "Maybe not," she said, stepping closer, "but I built her. I know every system, every quirk, every blind spot in that airframe. You won't get anyone else up there before it's too late." Collins shook his head. "That's not how this works." The PA cut him off. "Unidentified aircraft approaching 25 miles and closing fast. Response window down to 5 minutes. Elise took a breath. "Sir, you either let me fly, or you watch that thing hit our fuel depot." Collins hesitated only a second before he swore again. "Get her suited up." No one questioned it. The crew moved like lightning, tossing her a flight suit and helmet. Elise's hands shook as she zipped the suit and clipped her name tag into place. It still read Captain E. Hartman. She hadn't worn it in years. She climbed the ladder into the cockpit, every motion burned into muscle memory. As the canopy sealed shut, she whispered under her breath, "Let's see if you still remember me, girl." The engines roared to life, twin afterburners lighting up the runway like dawn breaking through the dark. Her call sign flashed on the HUD as the system recognized her biometric signature. Valkyrie. Even from the control tower, Collins felt the shift in the air. "Control to Valkyrie, you're cleared for immediate takeoff. Godspeed." "Copy that," Elise replied, voice steady now. Valkyrie rolling. The Raptor screamed down the runway and lifted effortlessly into the night. Within seconds, she was climbing past 20,000 feet, her body pressing into the seat as adrenaline burned away years of doubt. "Radar contact confirmed," came the voice in her headset. "Unknown bogey 20 miles out, low altitude, erratic flight path." Elise's fingers danced over the controls. "Copy." Bringing weapons online. The enemy aircraft came into view, dark, angular, moving like a ghost through the clouds. It wasn't broadcasting any signal. Whatever it wasn't friendly. "Command, I have visual," she said. "Looks like a modified stealth drone, possibly foreign tech. Moving fast. Rules of engagement authorized. Take it down if it threatens U.S. airspace." "Roger that." She throttled up, pulling the Raptor into a sharp climb, then dropped into a dive that put her behind the drone's tail. The targeting reticle flashed red, then green. She had lock. Fox 3. The missile streaked into the dark, a flash of light vanishing into cloud. Seconds later, impact. A ball of fire erupted in the distance, scattering fragments across the sky. Cheers echoed in her headset, but Elise wasn't listening. She was breathing hard, every muscle tight. The mission wasn't over. Command, debris is scattering west. Detecting secondary signal, smaller drone, breaking off. Repeat. Colin's voice cracked through. There's another one. It was shadowing the first. She banked hard, chasing the signal. The smaller drone was fast, too fast for standard intercept protocols. She pushed the throttle to maximum, the Raptor trembling as Mach 1.8 screamed through her ears. Come on, girl, stay with me, she muttered. The drone dove toward the coastline, likely aiming for a populated zone. Elise fired chaff and countermeasures, dodging bursts of plasma-like fire. One hit grazed her right wing, shaking the jet violently. Damage warning, stabilizer control limited, the AI voice announced. Elise gritted her teeth. I know. I can feel it. She closed the distance inch by inch, waiting for that single, perfect shot. The lock beeped once, then twice. Fox 2. Another missile launched. The drone tried to evade, but it was too late. It detonated mid-turn, a streak of light across the dark ocean. Target neutralized, she said softly. The control tower erupted in applause. That's a confirmed double intercept, Valkyrie. You just saved the whole base. Elise smiled faintly. Copy that, control. Returning to base. The landing was rough. The right stabilizer was half gone, and she had to fight the wind to keep the jet straight. As the wheels hit the runway and the Raptor skidded to a stop, crews ran toward her. She popped the canopy, the cool night air flooding in as she pulled off her helmet. Silence. Everyone on the tarmac just stared. They had known her as the quiet contractor, the systems expert who kept to herself. None of them had ever guessed she once held the rank of captain, or that her name Valkyrie was still whispered among ace squadrons for the mission that had saved a platoon overseas. Major Collins approached slowly. You just pulled off a 2-kill intercept with a damaged Raptor. How the hell did we not know you were a combat pilot? Elise looked past him toward the dawn breaking over the horizon. The first light reflected off the jet's sleek frame, the same plane that had taken everything from her, and somehow, given something back tonight. I wasn't supposed to fly again, she said quietly. But sometimes the sky decides otherwise. Collins nodded, still staring at her with a mix of awe and disbelief. Well, Valkyrie, welcome back to the fight. She smiled, a real one this time, as the morning sun painted the base in gold. For the first time in years, Elise Hartman felt weightless again, not because she was in the air, but because she finally remembered who she was. Captain Elise, Valkyrie, Hartman, ace pilot, U.S. Air Force. And somewhere in the control tower, someone whispered what everyone else was thinking. They never knew she was an ace, until tonight.